Dragon Ball Legends. If you ever wondered how a game with such potential, a game that was seen by many players at the time as the Dokkan Killer, turned out the way it did, well, you came to the right place. This is the first episode of a very long series where I'll be covering the entire history of the mobile game Dragon Ball Legends. So everything began in March 2018, when Dragon Ball Legends was announced by the man himself in a Google event, which sounds so random, but it was announced here to showcase Google's cloud networking and how fast and stable it made Legends PvP, even if the players were 5,000 miles apart. So that was our first look at Legends, and what followed after just hyped the game so much that people genuinely thought that this game was about to end Dokkan's career, and honestly, it really looked like it was going to. The game was in 3D and aesthetically more appealing than Dokkan, especially for the masses. It featured a new original character that was designed by Toriyama himself, which coupled with the upcoming release of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie and all of the rumors about Yamoshi, the original Super Saiyan God, just made the new character more appealing, even though Charlotte had nothing to do with Yamoshi. And the crazy part is that it was said to us that Legends was apparently built on players' feedback from Dokkan, which meant that this game was essentially what players wished Dokkan could be, and the fact that the game was going to have an international release only proved that point, so the hype was through the roof. And we all expected this game to be absolutely amazing. The game was officially out May 5th for the players who pre-registered for the game, and let me tell you, the game looked like it was going to live up to the hype. It had so many cool features that we wish Dokkan had, like skip tickets, no box space, what looked like a better dupe system at the time, and much more. And if you joined the game before July 1st, you were given 2000 Chrono Crystals, 100 Z power of the hero Goku, 100 Z power of the Force form hero Frieza, and the Goku outfit for Charlotte. So this was actually the perfect time to reroll, and that's what I did. I rerolled for the Red Sparking Super Saiyan Goku, since he was the only Super Saiyan unit and had a cool ultimate arts card, but your best bet at the time was to either reroll for Purple Vegeta or just for as many Sparkins as you possibly could, since those were just the best units in the game, and by far. 2 days later and the first banner was out. It featured 5 new Sparking characters. The headliner Red Super Saiyan Goku, who was contrary to what you would think, actually probably the worst Sparking on that banner. Like, he wasn't bad, he still gapped every non-Sparking unit in the game, but the banner just had better Sparkins. Like, his design was kind of weird, he held strike cards but was a blast character, and gained additional blast damage after an allied Krillin died. So to get the most out of this guy, you had to run him with a Krillin card. But the only Krillin card the game had on release was the Hero Krillin, who honestly wasn't great even by Heroes card standards. But since he was the only Sparking with an ultimate skill, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who rerolled for him, which was honestly a pretty bad move. Not only because he wasn't the best Sparking in the banner, but also because he was the first one you got for free by ranking up to level 20. Purple Vegeta was seen alongside Green Piccolo as the best Sparking on the banner, since he had a very high blast base stat and held 2 blast cards. And his kit also gave him a lot of additional blast damage, so he was a pretty well designed unit. Green Piccolo was by far the best tank in the game. The guy had ridiculous defensive stats and healing on his main ability, and he also held a strike and blast card, meaning you could put him on any team without hurting your arts too much. Blue Pen was kind of something. At first people saw her as the worst Sparking on the banner, but as people got a hang of the game, yeah, it was clear that she was probably the best unit in the game. But yeah, she was a support type unit that gave all allies 30% damage amp from the start of battle, while also boosting her own key recovery, and could draw a special art card on her main ability, as well as reducing the enemy's key recovery and card draw speed. The reason why some players saw her as broken and the best unit in the game was because of a mechanic called double dashing. You see, back then, you could recover key and draw new cards while dashing, so players would quickly dash in between arts cards to recover key and draw more cards. It wasn't really something difficult to execute per se, you just needed like the right timing, and the thing with Pan is that she had additional key recovery at the start of battle, meaning that with some luck you could combo almost infinitely with her, which for sure was broken. But it took some time for people to figure all of that out, so on release, Purple Vegeta and Green Piccolo were still seen as the best cards in the game, but yeah, as time went on, it was clear that Blue Pen was probably the best card. If he knew how to utilize that mechanic. Yolo Paikohan was very good. He had a main ability that upped the cost of the strike and blast cards of the enemy, was a strike unit who held 2 strike cards, while also getting additional strike damage against units who had the Freeze as Force tag. And the quote-unquote best unit in the game had that tag, and was purple. So Paikohan was his biggest counter, making the PvP meta on release probably one of the most balanced one ever, since every sparking unit like countered each other. Like PvP on release was probably the peak of PvP. Everybody had the same equipments, almost no one had fully leveled characters, and you could generally just bring out anything you wanted into PvP. Like hero characters were viable at the time. Okay, sure, you had to fight like a bot every now and then, since the game didn't have enough players during its pre-release, and those bots had higher level caps than the one we had in game, but they were pretty dumb, so it wasn't that big of a problem, and you could deal with them. Okay, actually PvP maybe wasn't sunshine and roses on release, because I just remembered that PvP was also filled with cheaters. They were abusing some sort of bug with the game that allowed them to instantly win any PvP match, which was very annoying. Like imagine waiting and going into a PvP match just for your opponent to disconnect with a win. Like this was just crazy. I even found footage of someone utilizing that bug at the time, as you can see. May 10, and the first scout battle was out, an event that you could clear 5 times a day and where you could farm Z power of the hero credit card, something that was actually pretty good for the dumbasses like me who rerolled for the red spark in Goku. 3 days later and the shops were finally open. Do you believe that? There was a short period of time in Legends where you just couldn't buy chrono crystals, like you couldn't give money to Doshi, like no wonder PvP peaked on release. But yeah, the shop came with some sales that honestly I don't really remember being anything special, but better than what Dokkan had to offer at the time. The shop also came with a special starter pack deal that gave you 1100 chrono crystals and 600 Z power for the red spark in Super Saiyan Goku. 2 days later and they put a notice in the news saying that they have found the cheaters in PvP abusing the connection bug and that they will have their PvP rank reset to 0, but that the next time a player is found using that bug, he'll get banned. So this was kind of a warning. The next day and they released another scout battle, this time for the Yamcha hero card. I don't remember this one being anything special. I don't even think I farmed him. Those events only gave you 100 Z power a day, and this was before the star system rework, so it took a lot of Z power to star up characters past the 3rd star. Another day later and we had the first story event, Raditz Attack, where we could farm Z power for the blue extreme Raditz card, arguably one of the best bench units in the game, since he gave HP to the Saiyan tag. This event also brought the first set of real equipments. One was restricted to the green type, so it was clearly made for Green Piccolo, giving him blast defense, blast attack, and special move damage. The bronze one could be used by anyone and gave base health, as well as strike and blast defenses, so pretty good actually at the time. And the other silver equipment was for Saiyan tag characters, and gave strike defense, strike attack, and additional damage against characters from the Super Warrior tag, so actually a pretty decent equipment too. By the way, the special move damage equipments were bugged on release. The buffs were way higher than what they were supposed to be, so Green Piccolo's special move did so much damage with his equip. The next week, they dropped another scout battle, this time for the hero Tien. Just like Yamcha's, nothing crazy, and I don't even think I farmed him. This would be the equivalent of Dokkan's first strike event characters, and honestly compared to them, those hero cards were pretty useless. The month ended with the official global release of the game, which came with its own celebration. The most notable thing from that celebration was the release of the first Sparking Guaranteed banner, and the best part was that the banner was actually free. You could obtain a ticket by clearing the global release campaign missions, which from what I remember weren't anything difficult, so this was essentially just a free Sparking ticket. They even added an additional 450 chrono crystals to the original pre-release rewards, which obviously was very good. This is also the celebration that started the first season of PvP, with the first space-time duel. At the time, PvP only had season or battle rank rewards, and your end of season rank rewards, no group ranking or daily rewards. And the crazy part is that the PvP rewards didn't actually improve as much as you would think after all these years. Like, they're pretty much the same. Like, how is that even possible? PvP is like 10 times more toxic now, and it doesn't even give you twice as many rewards as it did on release? Toshi bro, what is this? Anyways, with PvP came the rare medals that you could exchange into the shop for various rewards, including the new Sparking Spirit Bomb Goku. From what I can remember, he wasn't anything crazy on his own. He was just like a tank type unit with a Z ability that gave strike defense to Saiyan tag characters, but he held 2 blast cards, and his main ability caused enemies to receive more blast damage. So this guy was actually very good alongside Purple Vegeta. Like, they synergized pretty well together. I also remember Spirit Bomb Goku's special move having a chance to feign the enemy, while also reducing their blast defense. So you could pull off some pretty nasty combos with him and Purple Vegeta, who was, like I said earlier, a blast damage monster. The only problem with Goku is that those rare medals were, well, pretty rare, so just getting Goku at 3 stars was a pretty difficult task, and at 3 dupe his stats were pretty low. They also released a new story event at the same time, this time for the EX Nappa. He wasn't as useful as EX Raditz, but that event came with some new equipments. The bronze equip gave decent stats to Super Warrior tag units, one of the silver equip was for Chaozu, who actually got a scout battle event that same day, and it gave him additional self-destruct damage. I do remember some funny themes being built with it, but nothing game changing. The other silver equip was for red characters and gave strike, defense, attack and special move damage, so definitely something you could put on the red Super Saiyan Goku. And like I said, the additional special move damage was actually bugged on release, so this was just like crazy on him. Like his blue cards did so much damage with that equip. The last silver equip was for Piccolo and was pretty good. It gave him strike attack, blast defense and key recovery, so definitely a very good equip for Piccolo, the best tank the game had. They also added the Zenin EXP bonus battles the same day. You could clear those once a day and the rewards were pretty good for the time, so they were must-dos for every player, especially the EXP one, if you wanted to level up characters quickly. But yeah, this is it for today's history video. In the next episode we'll take a look at the first meta breaking unit, Blue Broly.
Kakarot!